Hey everyone, welcome to It's Just Food. I'm Paul G, and today we are going to be cooking with this beautiful butternut squash. And the inspiration for this has come from my fiance, who is not vegan, but we have been watching a lot of shows about health, wellness, healing, how the diet affects your well-being. We meal prep during the week, and she decided she wants to change one of her daily meals to vegetables only. So I'm going to show you how to prepare this butternut squash. And then after that, I'm going to make a vegan dish with you and show you how simple and easy eating vegetables really is. And we'll add some additional items. But really, this video is just about how to cook and prepare a butternut squash. And I'm going to show you guys the basics, how to peel it, how to cut it. You'll be able to use that whether you're preparing this to eat as a side dish or you're making a soup or a sauce or all of the above. So first up, let's grab your butternut squash. And let's make sure you have a very, very sharp knife, okay? So you're gonna need your knife and your peeler. So first thing we have to do is peel the squash, cut it in half, and take out the guts. So let's do that first.
Butternut squash skin is a very tough and thick skin. So give yourself a minute to peel the butternut squash. I sped this up here. And also it helps if you have a sharp peeler.
So once you have it peeled, then you're gonna take off just a touch of the top and bottom just to get the core out. And really make sure you brace the squash tight. It's very tough to cut. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it in half. And what I suggest doing is go through the center, press down, turn it, and then go through the other half.
Next, grab a spoon and use that spoon and just go ahead and start scraping out all the guts of the squash. You'll see there's some seeds in there as well, but just continue to scrape everything out until it's clean and hollow.
Okay, so now you have your squash clean, and what you want to do is you can see that you take the center out, and now you have a piece that it's full on one side, empty on the other. So what I found the best thing to do is lay that flat and take off that hollow part so you have a nice flat surface to work on, okay? So there's two ways to do this. So you can cut it and make perfect dices. There's nothing wrong with that. When you work in a restaurant, that's what you're going to do. Not only is it visually appealing, but it also cooks evenly. That's the whole point of doing that. If you're at home and you really don't care if you have a couple burnt or mushy pieces that may be overcooked or undercooked, then use the whole thing. You're at home, it's just food, no one's judging you. But if you are presenting this to somebody or making this for somebody, spend some time and work on your knife skills so it just looks more visually appealing. So we'll start by squaring off the squash. And then basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut this.
So after I square up the squash, what I'm going to do is slice down and cut this into about 3 pieces. Then I'm going to slice those pieces into separate quarters. I think I'm going to get about 4 quarters here. So they kind of look like French fries. I'm going for a medium dice. So after you square them up, cut them into pieces, then you're going to turn them one more time and continue cutting until you get the desired shape and size of the dice that you're looking for. So here's the other half of the squash, and again, what you want to do is square up the entire squash. And it's okay if it's not perfect. If you're not working in a restaurant, you're cooking at home, don't worry about that. We're going to cut this one in half, and then we're going to lay it flat. And I'm going to get 3 cuts here, which will give us 4 pieces across. And then we'll turn those and go through them, and we'll get our medium dice. Next, we're going to move on to some of the end pieces that aren't perfect, and you kind of just want to square those up the best you can. Now, if you're not looking for precise cuts, then you can use the whole thing and you'll have all different shapes and sizes, which is fine. Now, this is going to affect the cooking time. The more evenly they are cut, the more evenly they will cook. Now, these pieces that contain the seeds are a little awkward. So what I like to do is slice them into thirds and then square them up by cutting down and getting rid of the edges. And you'll end up with kind of a flat piece. And again, just square them up the best you can. I am trying to make everything uniform, but if there's some imperfect pieces, that's okay because I'm cooking at home. So again, this piece, we're going to take off the ends. See, if you cut on a slight angle down, about a 45-degree angle, you'll get a flat surface to work on. Then we'll just go across and cut those into 4 pieces. Then we'll turn those and we'll get our medium dice size and shape.
All right, so once you have your squash all diced up, we're gonna put a generous amount of olive oil on there, some pepper, and some salt. Then we're gonna give that a toss, okay? If you wanna add a little bit more salt, a little more pepper, give that a toss. Then on your pan, I would throw a little oil down and just kind of rub that around so it doesn't stick when it's cooking. If you want to put some parchment down, if you have that, you can do that too. But this should be good. I actually want the squash to roast a little bit in the oven. So we're going to place this in the oven and we're going to check on this in about 20 minutes.
So after your squash is done cooking, it should be about fork tender. Get all your ingredients next to your saute pan and get everything ready to start sauteing all the ingredients together. So first thing, get your saute pan hot, hit it with some olive oil. Then we're going to add the Brussels sprouts and get a little color on those. Then we're going to add that beautiful squash that we par roasted. Next, we're going to add some corn. Then some black beans, generous amount of salt and pepper, and hit it with some herbs. And get everything incorporated, toss it together. Next, we're going to add shallot and garlic. And then you can work all those things in. And remember, only let this cook 30 to 60 seconds so you don't burn the garlic and shallot. Then, once everything's cooked, we're going to finish with some additional herbs, both for flavor and color. So before I show you guys how to plate this dish, I had an extra avocado and sprouts I'm going to use, If you have this, great. If you don't, just ignore this step. But let's start with the avocado. We're going to cut it in half following the seed. Discard the half with the seed and then grab a large spoon, and if you can follow the avocado along the skin, try and scoop out the avocado. Then what we're going to do is remove a little bit off each side just to square it up. Then turn it, and following the avocado, we're just going to slice it as thin as you want and evenly all the way down the avocado. Now watch, once it's cut, I'm going to gently push it and press it. Essentially, I'm creating a bed to place all the vegetables on top of. So next, I'm going to show you guys how to plate this dish. And I'm definitely going for a little more rustic, comfort food style plate up. I do recommend a little oil, salt and pepper on the avocado before you add everything else. Next, we're going to put a couple large spoonfuls of the medley on top of the avocado. And if you can keep it in the center of the plate, don't let it go all over the place. You kind of want to build a small mound. Then we'll finish it with some sprouts and some additional olive oil around the plate.
Hey everyone, so there you have it. That is our butternut squash vegetable medley. Vegan friendly if you're on a vegan diet or if you're vegan. The plating is definitely more rustic, but I promise anyone you put this dish in front of, once they have their first bite, they're going to be hooked. I mean, you can't go wrong with some butternut squash, some corn, some beans, garlic, shallot, herbs, and then finish it with some fresh avocado and some sprouts and a little drizzle of olive oil. If I got this for lunch, I would be very, very excited. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And thanks for checking out my channel. I'll see you on the next episode.